Jamie. Evening, guys. Hope you're well. Obviously, questions for İlkay Gundogan first, and then the manager will join us after that. If we can take questions in English first, please, and then we'll take some in German after that, just to keep things consistent. Somewhere to start. We have mics on either side. We'll start with Martin at the bottom, please. Is a mic coming your way, Martin, if you hang fire, please? Thank you.
Hi, İlkay. How do you approach a game like this when you're starting off with a 3-0 lead? Do you look to win the tie on the night or defend the lead, or what?
Well, I guess it's about finding the balance. I mean, our team is built to start every game and try to win it. So obviously, we want the ball, we want possession, we want to keep it. But we need to play also in a mature way, because we know this is the knockout stage now. And we know also from the experience from the past, not just our own games, also games that we have watched, that still everything is possible. This competition has something special, and you can get sometimes incredible results that you probably won't believe beforehand. So obviously we take it very serious. We know that we play against one of the best teams in Europe, and that's how we approach the game.
Joe?
Okay, got it, yeah. And similarly, what's the best way of dealing with the possibility of complacency? You know, thinking that possibility that you think that the job's done already?
Just don't think about it, because it's not done. We know that in this competition it's always first and second leg. So we're playing away now, and I think especially playing away always requires big personality. And especially when I say that we want the ball, you know, we want to keep it, we want possession. You have to have personality, you know, playing in such an amazing stadium. You know, their fans will be behind them more than ever, and it's about us, you know, not to allow them to get the momentum, you know, and you know, maybe to get the first goal, and then they will feel that there's still a lot to play for in these 90 minutes. So the best way of dealing with that is just how I said, play our style of football, even though we know it's going to be very hard, but get the momentum on your side and try to be very efficient.
Arilas?
Hello, İlkay. Since he came to the club, Erling's injuries, the amount of injuries he's had has drastically gone down. So can you give us an insight, first of all, in how detail-oriented and how professional he is in that work off the pitch? And then secondly, are Man City, in your experience, better than other clubs when it comes to dealing with recovery and the work that is done in the medical staff, etc.?
First of all, I think we have a great medical team. I mean, I've been here now nearly 7 years. I had one long-term injury since I've joined the club, which was an accident. But apart from that, apart from a couple of small things, I never really had that kind of an injury. So I think that's credit to our whole medical team. They are amazing, and Erling is just a big professional. You can see it from his attitude, you know, not just on the pitch, also off the pitch. He is probably always the first one, you know, arriving at the training ground. He gets his treatment, he gets his meals, he trains, and then he gets his treatment again, you know, and he knows, I think, now what he needs, what his body needs, what is required, you know, to play on such a high level every 3 days. And yeah, it's been amazing so far. I think he's just missed one game so far, or a couple of games, but he's doing amazingly. He gets all the support from everyone, and of course we need him in his best possible version.
Hi, okay. You've obviously only got 2 months left on your contract. Have you communicated to the club what you're planning to do in the summer?
There are talks. Obviously, there are talks in the background. I think that's quite normal with just a couple of months left. But without going too much into detail, there's nothing decided yet. Not from my side, not from the club side. So the talks, they continue. And if there is something, if there's a decision at one point, you guys will be the first ones to know.
Ilkay, you've got a lot of Bundesliga experience, German colleagues in the Bayern dressing room. What have you made of their problems? The mood around here seems quite low and despondent. What have you made of their so-called problems this season? How do you think you can take advantage of that tomorrow night?
I can't really talk much about them, to be honest. I don't know what's happening internally in their dressing room around the club. The only thing I know is that Bayern Munich is the biggest club in Germany, and every single year they're ambitious and they play for everything. And of course, you can get knocked out sometimes of the cup, or you can win a few games in the league. I think the expectation is just so high because this club has been doing amazingly in the last decade, or even more, you know. So I think it just shows how ambitious they are, and same for my colleagues from the national team. I know their mentality, I know how they are dedicated to their work, and as I said before, answering a question, I expect them tomorrow in their best possible version. I think tomorrow they will try to be one of the best teams in Europe, and I have to say I'm a big fan of their manager as well. I had him myself in Dortmund, and I understand that sometimes, you know, being in the job from one day to the other brings us difficulties as well, and it's not always easy. But I think throughout the time, if he is given enough time, you will see to what levels they will come, even though maybe they might not be there right now consistently. But I think it's just a matter of time that they will be, that you're going to watch them and you will say, wow.
Sam?
Hopefully not tomorrow.
Hi, Ilkay. Do you the Southampton game in the League Cup earlier this season, you said felt like there was a special ingredient missing in City, but obviously now it seems completely different, and you're back at that top level that we normally expect from City at this time of year. Could you give us an idea of how you think that turned around from January to now? Did the players get together? Did you do anything? Did you have any talks? How does it work?
We had talks, but I think everything that has happened, it's mainly on the pitch, you know. Sometimes you feel like it clicks on the field, you know, and then you have a certain system, you have a certain way of playing, and maybe up to that Southampton game in the League Cup, it didn't feel like, you know, it's 100% fitting. But at one point, and it's just a personal feeling that you have inside yourself sometimes, and I'm sure it's the same also with Pep, you know, as the manager, you know, as the one who has all these ideas, you know. It sometimes just clicks, and then you know, okay, this is the way to go. And at the moment, it feels just as a perfect fit for everyone.
We'll do two more in English, guys, and then some in German. We'll start with Paul.
Ilkay, you got to the semi-finals last season, the final year before. Just wondering, how do those kind of memories of coming so close inspire you to kind of push that a little bit more this year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the more far you get in that competition, the bigger the hunger, you know, to win it. And I don't know who, apart from the manager, won this competition in our team. I don't think anyone, to be honest. But we were close. I was close when I was at Dortmund, you know, in 2013, and then the most of the squad was very close a couple of years ago. But it was not meant to be, and that just increases, you know, the desire to get back into that final and lift the trophy, you know, because I think this is what the club and also this group of players deserve.
Ben?
Could you please share some insight on how Pep pushes your buttons in order for you players to stay hungry and with desire? And could you please also describe his psychological side of managing?
I don't know. It's quite difficult to explain. I guess the advantage is quite playing every 3 days, because you know, when you play every 3 days, you don't really have much time, you know, to think about what has happened in the past. It's just a matter of a few hours, and you get into the next big challenge, big competition. And with the squad that we have, I feel like that's quite often a really serious advantage for us. You know, we have the quality, we have the amount of players, we have the depth in the squad. So it's just about pushing every single player in the training sessions, you know. And I didn't see anyone, you know, like losing any slight of motivation over the last few months. Even players, you know, who might be a little bit behind, who didn't play so much or as much as other players, you know, in the past few weeks, they train amazingly. Their attitudes are really good, and this is really when you feel like, okay, this group is intact, and that's the only way, you know, of winning the biggest games and the biggest trophies.
Try Ben again.
Thank you. Ilkay, Pep told me last week that in an ideal world he'd love to keep you forever. When you hear words like that from your manager and also your neighbour, does it make the decision on whether you stay or leave the hardest one you've ever had to make in your career?
That and my physical condition, I think, plays also a part in that. But obviously, I appreciate that a lot. I hear it for the first time as well. I didn't know, to be honest. But I think he knows what he has, and of course, I also know we've been together 7 years, and it has been amazing. You know, we've won a lot together, and to hear things like that, of course, brings me joy, brings me a smile, and appreciates what I have done. What I have done in this last 7 years.
Okay, we'll take a couple of questions in German, guys, before the manager arrives.
Heiko Niederer, Bild-Zeitung. Hi, Ilkay. Es gab diese Auseinandersetzung letzte Woche zwischen Sadio Mané und Leroy Sané. Du hast es ja sicherlich mitbekommen. Hättest du das für möglich gehalten, dass sowas in der Bayern-Kabine passiert? Und wie ist deine persönliche Meinung zu Sadio Mané? Du hast ja oft genug gegen ihn gespielt. Und glaubst du, dass er morgen vielleicht überraschend in der Startelf stehen könnte?
Vorstellen kann ich es mir schon, ehrlich gesagt. Ich meine, wir kennen Sadio Mané aus der Premier League sehr, sehr gut. Und er hat uns in ganz, ganz vielen Spielen mit Liverpool wehgetan. Dementsprechend wissen wir um seine Qualitäten. Und manchmal kann so ein Vorfall auch was Positives erzeugen. Und ich glaube schon, dass die Bayern sich das zumindest erhoffen und auch wünschen. Ob er dann letztendlich spielt oder nicht, weiß ich jetzt nicht. Aber egal ob mit oder ohne Sadio Mané in der ersten Elf, wir erwarten ein sehr starkes Bayern München und ein Spiel auf Top-Niveau morgen.
More in German, guys? Are you happy?
No one.
Okay, thank you.
Danke, thank you.
Evening, guys. Same process again. We'll start in English and then we'll move into German after that, if that's okay, please. Somewhere to start? Start at the bottom here.
Hi Pep. We saw the pictures of Phil Foden training this morning. Is he going to be fit to play a part tomorrow night?
No, we are delighted. Well, Servus and good afternoon to everyone. Definitely it's a good news for us, and of course he has trained just one training session yesterday, but we decide travel with us and be in the bench.
Simon?
Just on Phil, how many minutes is he sort of able to play?
I don't know. 90 for sure, no. But his physicality is special. He's a special player that doesn't need, a lot of training sessions to be fit, because he has a special physicality. But it's important, not just for tomorrow, for the tight schedule that we have ahead of us.
Jamie?
Hi, Pep. Hello, over here, back over here.
Just over here again.
Sorry.
Just a little on me. So you're obviously 3-0 up in this game, and you yourself have referenced previous Champions League knockouts, Lyon, Tottenham, Liverpool, Real Madrid last season. So how can you be sure that these won't play on your players' minds again tomorrow evening, that a similar sort of disaster could happen?
Disaster? Knockout, and it was completely different, because against Lyon or Tottenham was the results 1-0 down. Here the result is different. So just what our mindset had been to prepare the game, watching the first leg and seeing things we can do better, and we were focused a lot what do you have to do to try to not just control the games, punish them or try to score. Of course, come here to win the game. I don't understand the game, for the fact we are here in Munich against one of the most prestigious historical in this competition, more trophies, and I don't understand the situation that come here just to defend something. We come here to play one football game, 11 men against 11 men, that we try to do better than the opponent in this specific game. If you think about just the result, what we have to do or we have done in the past will be a big mistake for us. We have to do our game, and that is we talk these last days, and we prepare the game for that reason.
My name is Darawan. I am sport reporter for Kursat News. My question, you are known for your attacking style of play, but for the Champions League games, you don't think that you have to adapt defensive style of play to win the title. As a question, as we know, there is a lot of pressure to bribe the Spanish refereeing community. What do you think of this Ramos as former Barcelona manager?
You talk me about what happened in Barcelona?
What do you think? As we know, there is a lot of pressure to bribe the Spanish refereeing community. Committee. What
understand what I said.
Of this?
It's not the day to talk about that.
Behind, please. Sam?
Pep, good afternoon. A glance through the history of Bayern Munich in this competition and looking at their previous quarterfinals, they've been involved in some seesawing, thrilling games. You just spoke about not approaching the match, coming here just to defend and having to attack. How do you ensure that you don't get dragged into a goal fest which might lift this place and influence the outcome of the match?
No, we're going to defend for sure. So it happened in Manchester, that part of the game they were better and we had to defend. We're going to defend tomorrow. And for us it's an opportunity. If we play a game competing about his history and our history, we cannot play. So you see the traffic have been in Europe, how many games have played in this, this type of game in his incredible history is a lot. We have few. That's why for us it's a new opportunity to prove ourselves against one of the best teams in Europe for sure. and we're going to try to impose our game like Bayern want to do it, and we will try to do as much time as possible to have the game on our side. And the best way is how is the mindset is going. Why don't go to try to win the game? Why should not try it? Even the result, forget the result, because the result was have been completely different in Manchester. The approach right now will be the same. So come here, knowing the quality that they have, adapt quick, and maybe some new formation of the opponent or the way you're going to play, and do our game. So we just talk about the game you have to play, not talk about the result we had in 1 week ago, what was going the consequences, about the future happiness. What do you have to do in the game, and focus in every single action. What do you have to do to try to get the result as best as possible to reach the semi-final?
Sam, this side. Sam, sorry. Oh, Andy. Go on. Go. Okay, Andy.
Hi, Pep. Erling Haaland, it seems almost silly to say, but do you feel that he's actually just getting to know how you want him to play, getting into the Manchester City way? In other words, is there actually a lot more to come from Erling Haaland, even though he scored this incredible amount of goals, in terms of what he brings to your team?
Look, I think he adapted so quick to us from the day one. First in the locker room with his mates, but he adapted perfectly. We have a good mindset, so it was not a problem since the day one. We felt it just arrive. This specialist guy in the way he introduced himself, with not just with the players, staff, backroom staff. So, have been so natural. Anything was forced or anything was complicated. It was completely the opposite.
Paul, please.
Hey Pep, you obviously managed here in huge matches. You know what the atmosphere can be like. How important is it for your players to kind of maintain their cool, to keep their heads tomorrow, even if they go a goal down?
Yeah, handle the emotions, going bad or going good. So it's so important, these competitions. You know, knockout stages happen. So we know that some moments we're going to do is to realize how many of these moments we're going to live as less as possible, especially bad ones. So that's why it's the best. We talk a lot about ourselves. But at the end, I don't know what the approach is going to play of them. So I don't know, we're going to play 3 in the back, with the wing-backs, no wing-backs, with how it's going to defend, different way, attacking similar way, without the 2 false 9, without a striker. Choupo-Moting will be in or not. So many things is going to happen after 5-10 minutes. We will know it. So that's why we were focused completely on know a little bit the patterns that they have, and we have to know exactly which ones we have to do, and same. So in the game we do some things that we can do better, knowing what they have done, and try to do it tomorrow.
Pep, Thomas Tuchel has just said that it'll take a miracle for Bayern Munich to go through. I get the sense that you don't really believe in miracles in sport. How do you control miracles?
I've been here in Bayern Munich, and I know the mentality of this club. It's in everywhere. In the Sevenstrasse, is in the skin. And I know what they believe. They can do it. We believe too. But, so, when you are in this type of clubs, and we are going to try to build this feeling that whatever happens, we can do it, like they have for the history they have in the past in this competition, and we are growing with that. So this is what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a knockout game, and anything can happen. But given the sort of journey that the team have been on in Europe, are you more confident now than you've ever been that this team can go and manage a situation like tomorrow night?
I would like to say yes, but I don't know. All the questions about the experience you had in the past now is better, so I don't know. Every game is completely different. So this game I said right after the press conference, Musiala shoot and was blocked, you know, from Ruben, the save from Ederson with 1-0. So this time of them changed many things in the part. That's why you have to be focused in our game. again, we talk a lot. What do you have to do to make our build-up much better? That we struggle. We have to try to drop them in a halfway as much time as possible, and after make a long possession, control the transitions in every circumstances, because the pace they have at front is unbelievable. And defend when you have to defend, of course, going to happen, but as less as possible. And for that, we have to be effective, a little bit more effective in our high pressing that we done in the first leg. We cannot press in the same way all the time because they have the weapons to understand how we have to do it. Incredible solidarity in many things, be a big team. And I want to tell you, if you do all this kind of stuff, well, we're going to win. But I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The target is, I know, I didn't say to the team at all. I said, oh, be careful with Bayern Munich. I know how difficult they are after 3-0, don't relax. They are not relaxed because they felt it. They know it, how good team it is. Like everybody knows, could not be different. And what we have to do is, always I believe in this type of games, when you are yourself and you look a lot on yourself more than the opponent, you are closer to be close at what you are looking for. Because the opponent have many weapons, many things that can punish you, and that's why you have to be yourself, impose your qualities, your strength that you have, as much time as possible.
Yes, good evening, Pep. You've talked a lot about the substitutions of Kevin, of Erling here lately, but except from the risk of injury, is there also a mental aspect to this, that it is done to push them and make sure that they still are hungry and have desire?
We have been 6-7 years on top of all the competitions, and still we are there. So in this stage, in this week, we play in 3 different competitions. I will dictate if we survive longer or we'll be out. So tomorrow and the Saturday FA Cup to reach final or not, and against Arsenal, if we win, we are still alive. If we lose, we'll be almost done. So, yeah, but it's nice to be in that position. The big clubs, when you are step by step become on these clubs, is for that reasons, because you arrive in the last stages after many years, like winning the Premier League, semi-finals last season, final the previous one, winning the Premier Leagues and Carabao Cups, and arriving in that position many years. That means we are reaching a level that is quite interesting for us. So that's why I don't have any doubts the players want it, the desire, the incredible focus they training yesterday and today, and I know they want it. Of course they want it, like I guess Bayern Munich want it.
Last couple in English, please, guys. We'll go to Fred and then to Ari.
Hi, Pep. Yeah. You mentioned a couple of times the history that Bayern has in this competition. Years ago, you said that City were still teenagers in Champions League. Do you think you're approaching your adult life now?
No, but the history is everybody. But tomorrow, don't play with the history. We play against 11 players, not the substitutions. You know, we don't play tomorrow what they achieve. But when you have something like that, the belief, because I've been in this type of clubs, is something special. But it's nice to challenge them. It's so really nice to travel around Europe and play against this type of opponents, and being there one decade ago, we can watch it on TV. So it's nice to be here and try to make an incredible achievement, to be close to reach a semi-final once again. So this is our model. What do you have to do to achieve it? Be ourselves as much as possible. Our game plan is stick it until the end and do our game as much as possible. And when it's not possible, it's because they were better, not because we could not do it or we were something like we were not. And that's why it was focused in the moments that they were better against us, what was the reason why, what do you have to do to do it as less as possible.
Carlos.
Hi, Pep. Tomorrow will be Erling's 41st game for City, which is the maximum amount of games he's played in one season for a club, which means his injuries have disappeared. We spoke to Ilkay, and he highlighted firstly the quality of the medical staff of the club, and secondly, the professionalism of Erling in the everyday work. Thirdly, is a third important point the communication between him and you to assure that you're on the same page. Can you give us an insight in how you two speak together so that he knows? No insight. Did you have conversations about his body when he came to make sure?
Yes.
Did you warn him you were going to sub him off sometimes, or?
No, we know for the last seasons in Dortmund he was a lot of time injured. He played few games, and we discussed with the doctors, with the physical, physios and whatever. Okay, how many problems? I have problems here. Okay, start to solve it. And the first two part of the questions, like Ilkay respond really well, is the truth. We have incredible departments, and he's incredible professional to wait 24 hours thinking about his body, what he has to do to be fit every three days. And this is the big clubs have to do, because you have an incredible, this amount of players that you invest a lot economically, point of view, and after you, be yourself, do whatever you want, there's no sense. So the big clubs invest and have to take care of them like your son, to be fit, to be ready when the manager needs him, to play and score as much goals as possible. And after, when he doesn't play 90 minutes or just 60 minutes, I am well paid for that.
Do you feel the need to talk to him about that, or does he understand what you sort of call for?
He knows all the time, like a substitution, because they are the mates. They want to take care of him, his body, for the next game and next game and next game. This is the reason why. No more than that. So I know with him in the pitch we are stronger, but there are a lot of games, and with the past that he had, we have to take a look. I speak not with him, but with the doctor, with the physios. And sometimes when you can economize or rest the last 50-20 minutes of the game, always is important for the next one.
Just take a couple of questions in German before we finish, please, guys.
Ist eine Frage auf Deutsch okay oder lieber Englisch?
Ich versuche.
Also okay. Hallo Herr Guardiola. Sie kennen Thomas Müller sehr gut aus Ihrer Zeit in München. Waren Sie etwas überrascht, dass er im Hinspiel nicht gespielt hat, und glauben Sie, dass er morgen spielen wird?
Ja. Aber habe ich nicht mit Herr Thomas Tuchel gesprochen, so ich weiß nichts. Ich weiß, wie wichtig Thomas Müller ist, und ich glaube, morgen er spielt wirklich, aber eine Stunde und eine halbe vorher, ich will nicht.
Hallo Pep. Wie fühlt es sich an für Sie, wieder in München zu sein, in diesem Stadion, die Atmosphäre zu haben? Was haben Sie mittlerweile für eine Verbindung zu München, und was fehlt Ihnen vielleicht in Manchester? Vielleicht das schöne Wetter oder das Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest. Ist nicht Oktoberfest yet. Ich hatte eine unglaubliche Zeit hier mit meiner Familie. Der Verein ist exzeptionell. Ich habe viele Freunde, und zurück in dieses unglaubliche Stadium. Ich hoffe, am Morgen die Fans Ruhe bleiben. Und wir sind hier für unser Business. So, ich bin hier, so weiter zu gewinnen. Und nach dem Spiel, ich bin mir sicher, viele Leute wir sehen. Und that's all. I have incredible memories from my time here in Munich, incredible ones.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.